Hello, and welcome to another session of San Francisco by Night, Hunter the Vigil. Tonight we take a look at a different part of town, the lower end, less tech, more grit, less vibrant neon, more down and dirty. It's the older part of San Francisco, less enhanced than the new city. Our journey now takes us to a little biker bar, very popular amongst many people these days, where a few interesting characters are. One of the bikers appears to be arguing with another, and they appear to be getting into an argument that is kind of echoing throughout the night. And Jason, your character is just getting really sick of the noise.
Um, have other patrons already voiced their displeasure?
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't stopped it.
Nope.
Grizzly, a relatively tall, muscular, and frankly just vicious-looking fellow, has just had enough of it. So he downs the rest of his cheap beer, gets up, and starts walking over to them with a really pissed off expression in his face.
One of the bikers, a very huge man looking like 300 pounds and all of muscle, turns to you. He says, "Hey, back off, buddy. This is a private matter."
Break it the fuck up, you're annoying everyone.
Why don't I break your fucking face then?
And with that, he would like to punch the fellow.
Okay, the man's defense is 3, so roll me strength plus brawl minus 3,
Tell me, just a sec.
and then tell me how many hits you get.
Yep.
What'd you get? Hello?
Just did the roll. Trying to look at it. Okay, that's weird. Why am I not seeing it?
Might be lagging a bit. Either way, you successfully hit him.
Straight
He
for
turns,
the... Yeah.
he turns back to you and says, "Motherfuck!" And he just tackles you, and the bar fight ensues.
Excellent.
This man is no match for you, um, for obvious reasons. And however you choose, you eventually manage to bring him down.
Yeah. While he's pummeling the ever-loving snot out of the guy, he's just saying, "That's what you get for being a fucking gobshite." Smacks him repeatedly until the man is senseless.
As you continue to punch him repeatedly, you notice that everyone in the bar has left.
Fair enough. I take it the guy is knocked out.
Yep.
In that case, he'll get up, wipe his boots on the guy's clothes, go back and order. Yeah, he's feeling like Johnny Walker tonight.
The bartender is not there.
He grabs himself a bottle of Johnny Walker and starts filling it up in his glass.
I would have considered you a hard rum man myself, Grizzly.
Felt like mixing it up.
You see a familiar man that you know very well walk in with a very nice business suit, looking almost like Agent Smith from The Matrix. Well, I have to admit, you made another mess I've had to clean up tonight. What did he do?
They were starting a fight. I was breaking it up, being a model citizen and all. And he gives him a very crooked smile.
Of course you were. Nonetheless, Grizzly, I'm glad you finally got my invite. Took you freaking 3 weeks to get here.
What shall I say? Some ladies needed some attention.
So I see. Well,
Anyway, Suit, what can I do for you?
call me Mr. X, or X for short. Anyway, are you still in the business of bounty hunting?
Does the Pope do certain things? Of course he does. Yeah, of course I am. A guy like I needs cash. Hard cash.
Well, you'll get hard cash. We have a couple locals causing a little bit of problem in the city here, causing displays and killing people in very gruesome manners. I would like you to go track them down and take them out.
Hmm. In what kind of a state do you want them back?
Dead.
Fine by me.
They have violated the masquerade. You know what has to happen.
I see. A little mop-up session.
Cleanup crew. I know it's not exactly the glamorous of work, but the pay is good. 50 large up front, 50 large when the job is done. Not to mention the housing that I've procured for you.
Oh, what kind of digs have you for me this time, Mr. X?
Oh, got you a nice little dig where you like it, in the squatters. However, it's nicer than anything you'll find down there. But it's got its own little personal touch. It's an abandoned biker mechanic shop.
Sounds perfect. Have you
Of
got the
course,
files?
I do have the files, and he hands out a couple of the things. I'd watch out for number 3. Actually, don't worry about number 3. Just worry about 1 and 2 right now. Number 3 might be well, he might be one of the. He looks around. He might be one of our undesirables. One of the Stryoki.
Ah, see.
And I wouldn't want you messing with one of them. These first two, on the other hand, are two brothers that have obtained some sort of sickness when they turned. This is driving them to be raving mad lunatics, grabbing people off the street and trying to turn them into things. We know that they're down in the sewers somewhere, but we don't know where. You're pretty good at tracking people, so we'll have you put on this. We've got our plates full at the time with that park incident.
I hears ya. He drinks some of the Johnny Walker.
I have to admit, what did the landscape look like when you came in?
From what I could see, they left a pretty little mess.
Any of the wildlife give you trouble when you came in?
Nah, they know better than to mess with me.
From what I hear, anyway.
Nah,
And
was a quiet flight in.
any of the houses give you trouble?
Haven't heard from them, and I don't seek them out.
Good. Good. Tell me, how would you like a little position at Section 9 as our official bounty hunter, huh? Good benefits.
I'm sure your dental plan is excellent.
Well, then, welcome aboard, Mr. Grizzly.
You
I
know
hope.
what? I'll be straight with you. Let's say 3 months. We see how it goes. If you leave me enough
Got it.
liberties, I just might stick around for good.
Sure. How are you at working well with others?
I mostly work alone.
If you had to, would you do it?
I've teamed up with other bounty hunters in the past. Some of them are alright. I'm sure some of your guys can figure out who's main man.
Oh, I'm sure that'll eventually get across to them.
He smiles and downs the whole glass. You want some?
He kind of looks at you almost like you insulted him, and he's like, doesn't have the taste it used to.
Well, that fat fuck, and he points at the properly ginormous guy. He was drunk enough. Maybe that's more your thing.
Oh, I'm sure I'll help myself to a little taste when we have to wipe that little pesky memory of you somehow beating the pulp out of him, despite him hitting you over the head with a crowbar. And he holds up a crowbar, and the crowbar is just bent into a kind of almost a C shape.
Grizzly just smiles. The main man doesn't go down so easy.
No. Nonetheless, I am going to have to ask something of you that I know you're
Oh?
not a bit used to, but I'll double your pay.
Ah, extra conditions. What did you have in mind?
I'm going to need you to be a little bit more discreet in this city. Cybernetics and robotics and replicants have made it very easy for us to hide. However, doing flashy displays attracts unwanted attention, and for your sake and mine, it's best that you be as discreet as possible. Be merciless in what you do, but don't leave a mess. Clean it up.
Grizzly grimaces at that, but then he turns around to Mr. X, gives his hand. Fine, I agree.
Deal.
And he gives Mr. X a very healthy handshake. What was that? I think for tonight he'll be giving 4 dots of strength into that. Good, solid, almost crushing the poor guy's hand.
Mr. X, being what he is, barely feels it. He gives you a shake and he says, well done then. For starters, I'd like you to go investigate a little incident that happened in the park, if you don't mind, if you could do it tonight. And I'll wire a little fund into your account there just as a little favor. I do ask that you be careful in this city. Like I said, these murders are not justified on light, and these two brothers, although young, have proven to be quite resourceful.
Let's
You'll
see.
you'll probably want to start with their old hangout. It's an old biker bar up by the more neon parts of the city, the high rise.
Fine. He pours himself a little bit more, downs it, then he gets up. Anything else?
That'll do.
Well, in that case, have a good night. And with that, he'll be walking out of the bar, giving a nice loud whistle, and from the distance, very loudly, a hover bike starts flying over. It seems to have an AI of some sort, and it parks itself neatly in front of Grizzly. As he gets on it, puts a pair of glasses on, sunglasses, that's it. Is it really necessary? Nah, but habit is habit. And with that, and with a loud roar, the bike flies away, off to its target.
You fly off to the park, and it's interesting using a hover bike in 2077. The sky lanes and the non ground traffic is actually fairly easy to navigate since there's no lanes and no boundaries. You're easily able to get to the park within maybe about 10 to 12 minutes, despite it being on the other side of the city. You land in a nice big open area where it says San Francisco Central Park Zoo closed, but currently the gate is open despite it being closed.
Grizzly parks his bike, gets off, and has a good look at the gate. Does it look as if it has been bust open? As in, is
Uh,
there a
it looks
broken
as
lock?
it looks as if the lock or chain was maybe hit with a bolt cutter, which may explain because he did tell you that this place was already investigated and they cleaned up the mess.
Hmm.
But it looks like that's the result of bolt cutters. You look around the park and you can feel the psychic essence all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be difficult to spot it out, but nonetheless, you think you can do it. You reach out and you look for the psychic essence of screaming or fear or terror. It's difficult. There's a lot here. At first, you become somewhat frustrated, and then finally it hits you. Now, Grizzly is as badass as they come. However, psychic essences hitting you is tough. Whenever you feed off of a psychic essence, sometimes it has residue. Fear, love, hatred, whatever strong emotion that person may be feeling at the time hits you, and the memory becomes yours and your own, making not only your mind very confused and jumbled, but very painful memories that are not yours can fluctuate. You take it all in, and it stings.
He just grunts and holds his temple as the sting goes through his very essence.
You see flashes of a murder take place. You don't see your assailant, but you live the memory like you were there. You feel the pain like you were there. The sights, sounds, and smells are all as if you were there. And you have to say, getting your organs ripped out from you while you're still alive is not a good feeling. But you do see it, this thing. You're not entirely sure what it is. It appears humanoid, but it moves too fast for you to see. Whatever memory of this being that you took, the being is now clearly dead. But you see something that interests you. You see a hand reach in towards your chest and pull out your heart. It runs over to a tree and crouches in a stance. It looks over the prize that it has taken. And whatever this thing is, it starts to eat the heart whole. And you think it stands up and looks up to the sky in a moment of utter bliss before simply vanishing. However, it seems to vanish into some bushes over there by a big thicket. There may be something over there.
Just let me know if I need to do a roll for
No need.
Grizzly composing himself.
If you want, I can actually do a roll off screen here.
Please do.
Grizzly is fine.
Okay, with that information gained, he just shakes his head violently. Right, let's see. And he starts moving towards those bushes.
You go and you move towards the bushes, and you can see some clothing that obviously does not kind of match the place set here. That seems to be shredded, torn, and bloodied. And they seem to be resting on an old sewer grate that's been overgrown with some moss, or at least should be overgrown, but looks like it's been used recently.
Grizzly readies his chain weapon, having it hooked on a leather loop at his belt, just ready to pull out. Cracks his neck, smiles, opens the sewer grate.
You jump down into the sewers. The smell is actually not that bad. It's the year 2077. In the year 2060, people rebelled against how bad the sewers were. This one is not so bad. You continue to stroll on down, and you take a look here, you take a look there. I'll roll a perception for you.
Please do.
Oh, okay. You just barely notice a small scratch on the wall of like a blood handprint or a smear going down towards the east.
Down east we go.
You go down towards the other end of the sewer and continue to walk, and you can see some more blood smears.
He follows the bloody trail.
You eventually get to a lighted area, and you see a human figure laying under one of the sewer lights, huddled in a fetal position, shaking.
How badly hurt does he look? Beg
It's
your
hard to
pardon,
tell
do
from
they?
It's hard to tell from here.
Looks around.
You don't see anything else.
He'll walk up to the person in the fetal position.
No, no. Why did he do it? Why?
Why did who do what?
He took them. He took them from me. Why would it do that? He's laying face down in a fetal position.
Yeah, Grizzly will try to pick the man. I guess it's a man. Up.
Yeah, it's a guy.
Yeah,
He
he'll
seems
try
to
to
be
pick him.
yeah, he seems to be middle-aged, balding. As he turns to look up at you, he turns and looks at you with his face. And you notice that his face has no eyes. They have been plucked out. He says, "They took my eyes."
Fuck, that's just rude. And Grizzly will proceed to try and, as he's picked the man up, walk him back to the entrance of the sewer grate.
You manage to guide him back to the entrance and get him up the ladder. He's like, Where are we? What
We're
part of
above.
town are we in?"
We're above ground again, on the
Okay,
ground level of the sewer.
all right. And he's just kind of wailing, like he's just, how would you feel if you got your eyes pulled out? He's not doing very well at this moment.
Don't worry, Shorty. I'll get the ambulance for you.
Okay, yeah. It's still down there.
Oh, don't worry. You're in good hands now. And I would say with that, he would get to a corner, try to let him down reasonably gently. Grizzly's not necessarily the most affectionate of persons, but
Right. You kind of you kind of flop him, and he's like, "Oh," but nothing out of the crack.
Stay there. And with that, he'll produce a cell phone or something similar to that, and call an ambulance, explaining to them what has happened.
They answer, and they're like, "All right, we'll be there in a sec." And you notice that as you go back down into the sewer, and as you continue to investigate, there appear to be bones kind of littering about certain areas. Human bones. There is definitely something using this as a feeding/hunting ground. Although you scan the edge of the tunnel and it looks like this particular sewer entrance only connects to the park. In other words, it doesn't connect to the other city sewers. However, you do notice a hole in the wall, about human size.
He takes the chain weapon off his side, cracks his neck, tenses his muscles, and then goes through the hole, ready for whatever might be awaiting him.
You go through the hole and you reflexively react to a very large and kind of odd looking rat jumping out at you, but you smack it with the chain and it just cracks its neck with one hit and you kill it instantly. And as you look through the hole, you can see what looks like a tunnel that's been dug into another sewer system, a much larger, more intricate maze like sewer system. You think this might be below the main city.
Are there any tracks to follow?
I'll go ahead and have you use the previous perception roll since it was good.
Please.
You do eventually find some tracks. And they start to lead you onward. And then it leads you to this very elaborate shrine, a Christian/Catholic shrine that's been erected, although the site is a bit gruesome. There is a man upon a cross. This man has been flayed alive, so it seems. He has been crucified in many different places, and behind him is a variety of odd symbols that seem to have been written in blood. Candles are lining the outer linings of it, and wax has been melted down into the wooden pedestal. Upon the wall it says, "Look to the sons of David, for they are our guiding light."
Grizzly looks at the, and pardon the pun, grisly spectacle, and just shakes his head. Goddamn Bible bashers. Some of them are starting to lose it already.
It's at this point you realize that your prey will probably take some time to track. But you do have a little bit of a clue here, for they left a Bible. And this is an odd Bible. This is not a Bible that you've seen before. This looks to be something kind of written in multiple languages and multiple scriptures. But you've got some clues. Sons of David, and you also have a kind of general idea of where this thing likes to hunt. So you might be able to start doing things.
Grizzly will start thumbing through the odd Bible, seeing if anything particularly weird jumps out at him.
Everything is written odd. Some languages go up, some go down, some go into circles, some go sideways. This book was written clearly by a madman. And occasionally you get moments of clarity, but mostly it's just gibberish and off the wall.
Wow, this is even a greater load of drivel than what I normally get read. Better keep it for the Poindexters. And he shoves it in one of his back pockets and decides that there is better things to do than waste his time with some crazy man's book. And he'll go. He'll try to get to the general area where his quarry likes to stalk, and then we'll lie in wait. At least he'll try to do that.
You lie in wait for a while, and you start to get the feeling that the thing might know you're here. So you continue different places, different tactics, looking at different parts of the sewer. But it's at this point you start to realize that this thing moves very quickly, and it's very difficult to even see fractions of it. Every time you think you've got like an image of it, or you think you've got it in your sights, it's gone, gone. And every time you set a trap, it seems to just slip right through. You continue to pursue this thing into the tunnels, and it just outwits you at every turn. Mr. X's words echo in your mind. You may need some help with this one. Come by Section 9 if you need it.
Grizzly, as bloodthirsty as he sometimes is, stops, keeps a wary eye out, and just mutters, "I'll be back, and I'll frack you up." And with that, he'll go back the way he came, regularly keeping an eye out for his back.
If you didn't know better, you'd say that in the darkness, just very lightly, quietly, you hear laughter. And then it's quiet.
He continues on his way back up.
You continue on your way back up and see that the paramedics have taken the man and have started to fix him, so to speak. You see a man in a suit, familiar, Mr. X. You just spoke with him not more than an hour, then, about, you've been tracking this thing for about 6 hours now.
Yeah.
So I take it was quite the chase then.
Yeah. Thing has got some fucking alacrity.
So we figured, well, I can set up a hunting party for you when you wish to go down again.
Might not hurt to see what people you have in mind.
People who are good at what they do. Not to mention, they work well with others.
Yeah. Freaking thing. And he gestures to the other guy. Took his eyes. What I found in there, he leans closer in to Mr. X, whispering into his ear. Producing the Madman's Bible. I found an altar with a flayed body down there, and this was beneath it. Maybe your Poindexters want to have a look at it.
He looks at the Bible and he kind of gets a little bit of a concerned look on his face. Then he quickly hides it, puts the Bible away. Says, "You've done good work here tonight, Grizzly. Take the rest of the night off. When you get you can keep looking around if you want, but I'll set up a sting for you, and you can get some of our guys to come down there and help you. We're going to need to take care of this quickly."
Gotcha. Nah.
Right.
Fine.
Keep your phone open.
For business, always.
He nods. Have a good night, Mr. Grizzly. And he walks off, and he walks behind a tree, and you don't see him leave.
Yeah. Typical vampire shenanigans, I guess. Or something in that direction.
Nonetheless, Grizzly, this is, although somewhat of a defeated night, this is exciting. You can't remember the last time you've had prey this talented, this ferocious.
This demented. Oh yes, it is getting his blood moving. He enjoys a good hunt, but as Mr. X said, a little bit of preparation will be needed.
Indeed. And I wonder what future nights will hold for Mr. Grizzly. I think that's a good place to end this little side session. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another San Francisco by